Hi, and welcome to the ArtsFam podcast.
The only show of its kind that spotlights the arts and entertainment scene in Southern Maryland.
We're your hosts, Lindsey, Pommerenck, and James LePore. And every week we bring you a brand new interview with a local artist or entertainer that's part of something that you can enjoy this week in Southern Maryland. Because, as you're always saying, James,
there is more to do here than you have time to do, and don't even ask us to defend it because we show you every single week.
Absolutely. Speaking of James, we are not in the podcast studio this week. Where are we?
No, we are not. We are surrounded by beauty here at the St. Mary's County Arts Council on Washington Street in Leonardtown. And we are here with Susie Glauner, who is the executive director of the Arts Council. Thank you for being here with us. We have an exciting artist main guest coming up, but Susie's going to tell us a little bit about what you need to know about the St. Mary's County Arts Council.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take it away, Susie.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping in and doing your podcast with us today.
Of course.
Pleasure.
The St. Mary's County Arts Council is an independent nonprofit organization based here in Leonardtown. We serve the whole county, and our primary job is re-granting state funding for local arts programming.
Oh my God, I love that. I love when there's arts councils, organizations, what have you, that support the arts and they put their money where their mouth is. They put their time where their mouth is. So thank you so much for everything that you do and for hosting us.
Absolutely.
You're probably noticing a lot of people walking by here in Leonardtown. That's because there's a very special event going on right now. Why don't you tell us what that is?
Sure. So the month of September is famous in Leonardtown because of its art walk. Oh. So the Arts Council organizes a huge event where guests, visitors, and residents can pick up a map and a ballot and wander around to more than 30 local businesses, view artwork by local artists, vote, and enter into a raffle to win a prize themselves.
How many pieces are there total in the art walk?
I think we're about at 30 this year.
Okay, because I mean, just in this building alone, there's so much beautiful art hanging on. I didn't realize they were elsewhere
as well.
In around the square too.
That's right. So this is our gallery. We showcase almost 70 local artists here in our own gallery on Washington Street. And Art Walk distributes the art so that other businesses get the benefit of people coming into their shops and restaurants to increase their foot traffic. It's a nice way to really partner with the rest of the businesses here in Leonardtown.
If people want to come down and see some of this beautiful art, what hours and days are you open?
Yes, so we are open Wednesdays through Saturdays, 11 to 4. And on first Fridays, we're open till 8.
Okay, and there's no admission or anything. It's just walk in, say hi, meet everybody, and look at the beautiful art, right?
Maybe buy some piece of art to take home with you.
You never know.
You never know.
Speaking of beautiful art, we've got an artist to introduce to you who's having an amazing show, and we will be right back with her.
Stay right there. Welcome back. We are here with local artist Joi Nicole Lowe. Joi Nicole, thank you. Oh my God. Thank you so much for coming on.
We do appreciate you being here, and you are here for a very exciting reason.
Yes.
Okay, so we've been trying to get a visual artist on this podcast since the beginning, right?
Yep.
We've had theater.
All the way back to the 1960s when we first started.
We've had theater, we've had roller derby, magicians, you name it. But you are the first of your kind on this podcast.
That's right. Hopefully not the last, but definitely the first, artist.
All right, so speaking of, how did you get into art? Like that's a story, and I need to know it.
Yes. It's very, I would say, a lot of people say Bob Ross, and that is how I got started.
Really?
I used to watch
that's fantastic.
PBS, and he used to come on, and I always wanted to copy his paintings and be like Bob Ross, and my paintings never turned out like his happy trees. But I kept going, and then I discovered other mediums.
You know, I actually used to do the same thing, but before Bob Ross, there was Bill Alexander.
Yes.
So I used to do like the Bill Alexander method too, but I mean, it started off a lot of people. I did not continue with it because I went into other things, as performing arts, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun.
So why the specific mediums that you've landed on, and tell us a little bit about those.
Yes. Well, because I couldn't master the happy trees like Bob Ross, I found myself gravitating to more natural resources. And so I like using found materials as well, and any opportunity that I can to express myself in a non-traditional way. That is what I gravitate towards these days.
That's
Does
awesome.
that mean we'll see you out in the street picking up like, nickels,
Yes.
dimes, pennies, bubble gum, things like that?
Not gum.
Using artwork.
Not gum.
I just a question that I always like to ask. What's the earliest memory you have of art, even before Bob Ross? Something must have interested you about art. Did you see something, or?
Like I said, it definitely started with Bob Ross, but my mother encouraged. She saw that I had a need to express my creativity, and she bought me countless art sets, paint supplies. So my mother has always been encouraging, and so that's why I've always played it with different things.
Let's hear it for parents who
Right?
definitely support.
Wow.
I mean, I'm poor, but she does support my creativity.
That is
That
so
is very cool. And
beautiful.
here it is, like
Oh my gosh.
years later, and look
Yes.
where you have ended
Yes.
up. Joy has an exhibition at Sotterley Plantation in
Yes.
Hollywood, Maryland, which is one of my favorite places. How did you end up having an exhibition at a historic plantation?
Yes. So I've been working at Historic Sotterley for about maybe 4 years. But I started as they used to have a farmer's market. And so I used to sell my wares at the farmer's market. And then I started to volunteer. And once I started volunteering, it just snowballed with different experiences.
Yeah.
And so then I became the gift shop manager. And then I left a little bit, and then I came back, and I left, and I come back. Historic Sotterley has a very special place in my heart, and I always support them.
And mine. And it
Yes,
has
yes,
lent
yes.
itself to the
Many-
medium
yes,
that you are
yes,
actually working.
yes.
Why don't you explain the pieces that
Yes.
you are exhibiting now? All have something to do with Sotterley, do they not?
Yes, they do.
Why don't you explain that?
Yes. So my time on site, the show that will be up starting September 29th, it's called Moments in Nature. Moments in Nature is just an experience, my personal experience at Sotterley. I walk the site often, and I meet many, many visitors that come.
Yeah.
And it's those experiences that connect me more so every time to the landscape. And the landscape is, even though it is a former tidewater plantation, they have beautiful grounds and gardens.
Yes.
And I volunteer in their gardens. And again, like I said, I've met so many wonderful people that when I'm on the landscape, it inspires me to want to create artwork that is dedicated to the site.
Yeah.
So that is why it is titled Moments in Nature.
Okay, so you're using things that you find around the
Yes,
site
yes,
in
yes.
nature. For example, what?
May I show you?
Oh, please do.
Please?
Sure.
Okay.
So,
All right. So let's
see. Right. Well, should I introduce this
Yes.
first?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I was just so eager. I couldn't wait.
No, I mean, this is
I
pretty outstanding. So.
I appreciate that. So the piece that's behind us here,
Yeah.
it's titled The Generous Jenny. So the Generous Jenny was the slave ship that came to Sotterley.
Oh, wow.
And aboard the slave ship, there was about 260 bodies that were on that ship. Out of the 260 that were purchased, out of the 260, not all of them survived. So this is a piece that I've created for the Day of Unity 2 years ago, and I wanted to create something that symbolized my time on site. So this is the first piece that I've actually created for Sotterley. It will be on the show. In the show. So each piece is wired from driftwood. So to represent the bodies that were on the slave ship, I have used sea glass and shells, which I have collected from the bay. And so this piece has gathered a lot of interest.
Mm-hmm.
It made its way all the way to the Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum for a year.
Wow.
And it was recently in the Leonardtown Library for a month.
Wow.
And this is the first time that it will be displayed at Sotterley, where it should be displayed.
And I'm proud to say that I just purchased it. No,
Well,
No,
okay,
I wish
I
I
can
could.
go out to dinner because it's $2,500.
Gotcha. It's
Yes.
but leave it to a true artist
Yes.
to tie in historical events
Mhm.
with the number of people, with the things that are found around them.
Yes.
It's just,
Yes.
it's incredible how it all comes together.
So, what's your process then for selecting each individual piece? Is there, you see that piece of sea glass, that shell, and there's something like, tell me about
It
that.
has to be the right. It
Yeah.
does. For this piece, I almost got arthritis because I've had to wire 260 pieces by hand.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness!
yeah. See, they're kind
Wow.
of like, yeah.
So each piece is hand wired. And
May I?
Sure. Yes. And with that being said, it's very tedious. But
Beautiful.
there was no other way for me to display
Mhm.
what occurred at Sotterley than to interpret it into a piece of art.
What came first, finding the sea glass and the shells, or finding the piece of driftwood?
I already had the majority of the sea glass and the
Mhm.
shells, and so that was an easy part. During COVID, my family and I all we did was collect items from the bay, so
Yeah.
it made it an easy transition.
And the driftwood is
And the
from.
driftwood is from the bay too. Everything that I use, I have to find it.
Right.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah.
But it just amazes me that, you can have a piece of driftwood and these things, and somehow in your artist's brain, you can connect this and make something that expresses meaning
Yeah.
to the
It's
people
a lot
who
of
see
trial
it.
and error.
Yeah, it's really so. When you saw the driftwood and
Yes.
knew that you had the shells and sea glass,
Yes.
did you instantly think, I can take this and put it with that, and
No.
trial and error?
Trial and error. I had the driftwood for a couple years,
Mm-hmm.
and then when the Day of Unity came, then that's when I started thinking about wiring the sea glass.
Okay, can't help but notice you have a basket of interesting
Yes,
looking
I
things.
do.
What is this, and how
I
does it
do.
relate to?
So the title of the show at Sotterley is called Moments in Nature.
Okay.
So it's not gum, but I have collected several hundred pieces of, this is from a honey locust
Mhm.
tree, and these are seed pods. And all of these seed pods that I collected, they are gathered from the slave dwelling that we have on site.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
So that is my time spent.
Mhm.
I know where these came from.
Mhm.
I've handpicked them myself.
Mhm.
I almost got poison ivy once or twice,
Oh.
but I made it through.
May I touch one?
Sure, you can. And they almost have
Ooh,
short.
look at this.
And they in the
What an
springtime.
interesting texture.
When they
Yeah.
in the springtime, they fall from the tree,
Mhm.
and then I just gather them. And in order to string them, like they will be displayed at Sotterley,
Yeah.
I have to have different pinpoints, and then I just wire it and then string them from in a pattern.
So,
But not from that piece. That
Not
piece
from
is
that
done,
piece.
right? But it'd be
Yes,
something similar
yes.
where it
So
hangs.
Yeah.
and-
this
okay.
this piece, it will be called Royal, and
Mhm.
it will be on display. And I say will be; it's not quite finished.
Oh, we've got some time before the show,
Yes
right?
and no, right? So this piece I'm working on is titled Royal, and I have about maybe 200 of these that I've strung,
wow.
along with different gemstones and shells as well,
Mhm.
all found from Sotterley. And I have it titled Royal because, the Africans that came there, in my mind and in hindsight, they're all of royal descent
Mhm.
Yeah,
and should be treated as such.
absolutely.
So, and the fact that I found these by the dwelling, it has a very, very powerful meaning. But as you said, the texture, I can easily manipulate it,
Yeah.
and I did have to coat it.
I was
was
going to
wondering
ask
about
if it was
that.
like
Yeah,
varnished
yeah.
or
So
shellac.
I do have to coat everything,
Okay.
and all the pieces mostly all the pieces that will be on display,
Mhm.
they've all had to be treated.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, for instance, this piece, I've collected a branch from the tree, the pods, and all the other pieces. I've used almost every piece of the tree. So maple tree,
Wow.
I've gathered maple
Cool.
leaves, some more fruit that hang from the maple leaves. So, like I said, everything is from one site.
Now, I am very well acquainted with the slave cabin. I've
Yes.
spent many an hour around there with ghost tour and
Yes,
everything.
yes.
These are from trees that grow around
This is from one tree.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh.
one tree.
See, that's something too. As a visitor, I mean, I know the slave cabin. I know
Yes.
it well. I've
Yeah.
been inside, but I'm not an artist, so
Yes.
I
Right.
wouldn't have thought, oh, look, that tree is somehow connected to
Yes.
the slave cabin.
Yes. Yes.
You've got to go. It's an awesomely cool place to go.
It is.
Yes.
I'll bring you over there. It's so
Yes,
great.
yes.
As far as everybody going, when is the show?
So it's September 29th.
Mhm.
And so the beautiful thing is, I definitely want to introduce Nancy Easterling, which is the executive director
Okay.
of Historic Sotterley. I am so fortunate to have the opportunity to showcase, because the beginning of the show opens with a free tour.
Oh.
So the tour will start at 3:00, and our executive director, Nancy Easterling, and our education director, Catherine Humphreys, will offer a tour, a tour of the manor house and to the slave dwelling that we have on site. And then after the tour, it leads you to the warehouse, where the reception will be, opening reception will be
Okay.
held. So it's September 29th, 3 p.m. to 6
And this is completely open to the public?
It is open to the
No
public.
tickets? No?
Well, we do ask for registration. So if you go on Sotterley, historicsotterley.org,
Okay.
if you go on their website, we just ask that you register, so that way we can control how many people we have.
So there's no
per tour.
cost to see this?
There is no
Okay.
cost.
This is
Wow,
pretty
that's
amazing. And
fantastic.
this would be a good opportunity for you to go
Yes.
to Sotterley for the first time.
Absolutely.
I will absolutely be there, because
Yes.
try to keep me away from Sotterley.
Yes.
All right, so I have like one last like
Sure.
artsy question for
Sure.
you, because I love to know like what goes on in the mind of an artist when they create something as beautiful as this and as meaningful. Personally, for myself, when I'm doing art just for fun,
Yes.
it's a very meditative moment, and it might be your specific intentions that you're kind of pouring into it,
Yes.
what's going on in your mind while you're creating it, or maybe art's a way that you kind of just, it goes quiet. So what is it for you, and was there anything specifically when you were creating this that was going through your mind?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked me that, because a lot of things go through your mind, right? It's like, don't mess it up to the point where you can't fix it, right?
Yeah.
So that's always that. It's always different. But for me, I cannot create anything. Well, first collecting the materials, I never know what I'm going to do with them when I'm collecting them. But once I'm home and I have my materials laid out, I always listen to music. Music is the first and foremost.
Yeah.
The pieces that will be on display, like I said, this one, it will be titled Royal. I've been motivated by songs that come on. So each one will be named after a song that inspired that. And it also ties into the historical context of Sotterley. But music gets me going. And if and a little bit of wine.
Well, yeah. Hey, you're an
I
artist.
mean, that's all of us,
You know,
right? A little something.
Just a little something. But music plays a huge role in
Yeah.
that. And if I didn't have it, I would not be able. I wouldn't be successful in bringing my art to fruition.
Interesting. What type of music do you listen to while you're creating art?
Well, I listen to
I'm nosy, right?
I listen to I love all types of music, but reggae music is my heart and soul.
Gotcha.
Right? It is my heart, and that is what motivates me to find a space in myself to where I can stay up late at night, and when Bob Marley comes on, it's like, okay, I got another 5 more hours.
Yeah.
So it's always about music.
Wow. Well,
How many pieces total do you have on the show?
So I will have about 15 pieces.
Oh,
Maybe 16, depending
that's
on how
15,
much time
16
I
songs, 15, 16
Yes,
times
it
you
is.
sat around with
Yes,
stuff.
Yes,
Look at
it is. And so it will be a collage of materials. Like I said, a lot of them will be strung. A lot of them will be photographs.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of them will be collage.
Okay.
And, but I have invited some friends to join me. because I felt like the relationships that I have at Sotterley, there's other people that have those experiences too.
Yeah.
And a close friend of mine, Pam Kalin, she will be part of the show. She's part of Color and Light
Oh, you
Society.
mean your friends will be also exhibiting?
Yes.
their work? Oh, very cool.
Yes,
That's wonderful.
Pam Kalin, she's a local artist, and she's a plein air artist, and so she spends many hours on site, and she has beautiful oil paintings that she is to also help tell her story of Sotterley, which mirrors mine as well.
Yeah.
And then we have a new photographer, Damian Wilkinson, and his time on site, he has photographed some wonderful images that I've seen. And then Mark Bonaham is, he's a personal friend of mine, and he has not been to Sotterley, but his pieces I have put inside of mine, if that makes any sense. So I have used his work as in collaboration with one piece of my own.
That's
Nice.
high praise.
Yeah.
High
Yeah.
praise indeed.
So will your art be where people can purchase it if they feel so moved?
Yes, I that's the goal. Right?
Okay.
That's the goal.
So don't be shy. Just
Don't
whip
be
out those
shy.
MasterCards.
Yes. Bring your checkbook and your driver's license.
Yes.
But yes, they will all be for sale, and I'm hoping that everyone sees the work that and the time that has gone into making the work. But I want them to see it and have a little piece of not just Historic Sotterley, but have their own personal connection from the tour, from the people that they meet on site that day. And that way they can take a little piece of Southern Maryland's history with them.
Oh, that's nice.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've always seen art too, like when you buy somebody's artwork,
Yes.
I feel like every piece of art you create,
Yes.
a part of your soul
It does.
goes
It's
into
like
that.
having another child.
Right.
Yes.
And so to be able to buy this beautiful thing someone
Yes.
created and just poured their soul into,
Yes.
I mean, how just goosebumps when I talk about
it
it.
would be goosebumps if I can, cash the check.
Yeah, that would be nice. So how many days will everything be displayed that people can go down and
Yes,
see, or is it
yes.
just only going to be
Yes.
this one time on the
So,
29th?
Yes. So the reception on the 29th, that is free to the public.
Yes.
And the show will go all the way until the 29th of October. That is-
Oh, okay.
that
Good.
is-
Oh, so
that-
time.
Yes.
Yeah, you got time.
That is the end of the season for Historic Sotterley for tours.
Mhm.
So just to clarify, the reception is free, but when you go there to visit, there is a grounds fee of $5.
Okay.
Which is
That's reasonable.
yes.
Yeah.
and
I'd
then-
spend $5 to breathe the air at
Right.
Sotterley. It's just such a
It's-
magical
it
place.
is a wonderful place. So yes, it's $5 for a grounds tour, and then if you
Okay.
want to take an additional tour of the Manor House, there's an additional
Yeah.
tour. But nothing over, that's and
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like if we get there at 3:00 on the 29th, we'll
Yeah,
have a
it's
nice
great.
tour
You'll
by
have-
the
you-
executive
yes.
director herself.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You have any questions left, James?
I don't think so, but you should see Lindsey's artwork. I'll have you. She's too shy to say it, but I'll have you know that Lindsey's artwork has hung on some of the nicest refrigerators in Charles County. It's true.
All right.
You have to start somewhere.
True.
Right. Well, thank you so
Thank
much
you, I appreciate
for
it.
joining us. It's just cool to get to talk to an artist and to see kind of just a window into your soul.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful soul.
Right.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And something that you had, like, I don't know, it feels like this overflow in your soul
Yes.
that you had to pour into a piece of art.
Ooh, that's a nice way to.
It
I
is.
like that.
It is.
And so just thank you for sharing that with us.
No,
Thank you
thank you.
for trusting us with that part of you.
Mhm.
And we wish nothing but the best.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you. I
Please
appreciate
go
that
down,
so very
see the
much. I
show,
appreciate it.
meet the artist herself. She's just as sweet in person as she is here on video. So, thank you.
Thank you.